kind of want to talk about a lesson that I've learned recently that I think there's a lot to gain. There's a lot to gain from this. So recently, I've been reading Crime and Punishment. It's a very well known book. There's nothing like I'm not trying to go and be like, look at me, I'm reading this literary classic, and I don't even know if I really believe in its, you know, stature to say the least. But there is an important lesson through just reading it, and I just wanted to share because obviously I'm trying to, through this isolation, I'm trying to raise up the amount of pages that I'm reading. And reading like 25, 50 pages of Crime and Punishment feel like an eternity. It just drags on and on and on, and it's definitely not an easy process to read. It's very dense reading, but through this, I've really learned this important lesson of kind of humbling myself, and in a way that I just couldn't have imagined. Because started reading it, I was reading it, and I was like, I don't know really what I think about this. This book is maybe not as good as what people are saying it to be, and I was like reading it, and it kind of echoed another book that the author's written. At the same time, he was reading Notes from an Underground Man, and so reading it, I was just like, I really don't get this. You know, this seems to be the same book, maybe with just some added characters in the background that they interact with. And I was like, this is stupid. I don't even like this. This is overrated. This is so much bullshit. That was like my initial response, was that this is a load of bullshit. But reading it, and even at first I was hearing my teacher talk over it, right? And I was like, there's that level of resistance, right? The resistance, and I think probably coming from the ego, right? That, you want that initial reaction to remain true, right? You want your initial presupposition to be proven correct. And I think that was really what I was wrestling with, is that I wanted to be right off the bat. And I think that so many of us want to be right immediately off the bat. And that's just not going to happen. It's just not. It's not. And I had to humble myself and admit that, you know what, how I believed about this book was actually maybe not true. And maybe that's, maybe that's okay, right? Maybe it's okay to just have yourself corrected and really kind of break down this notion of being right and wrong, especially, I guess, even in the sense of just literature. But I think this really will stem further into life, is that you don't need to be obsessed with this notion of trying to be correct all the time. And I'm sure I'm probably in the minority in this situation, but I definitely strive to be, I want to be absolute sometimes to a T. And yeah, it just really has broken away this kind of presupposition, and even this lesson of kind of humbling myself and admitting my own fault and assuming something about something that I actually didn't know. I've already seen it kind of take hold in other areas, and where I kind of tend to look at things and I'm like, okay, what if my initial visceral reaction is completely wrong? What if it is? What if it is wrong, that I maybe seem to be seeing something in the wrong light, and maybe I don't have all the knowledge? Because whenever we go to a subject, I think that we automatically assume we know way more, way more than we have any right to know, right? We go into, we think we're capable of understanding all the, we're able to understand everything. And I think that is important, right? Having a confidence about, I can do this, that's important. But to learn anything, to really learn something, you have to go with it with this humble mindset, this mindset of not fully understanding the subject. To be like, I know nothing. You have to start at that baseline, so then everything that someone is teaching you, it really, really connects, right? And even reading something, there's an element of being taught that should be understood. So I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is that why do we feel the need to be right off the bat? Why, right? Why do we have this initial response of being like, oh, I have to be right. This is it. I understand it better than anyone. Why do we even bother ourselves with that? And why does the ego have to take hold of us so much? So I just really want to hear what other people have thought about this. What other people's what other problems people have run into with trying to break away from this resistance that the ego is kind of taking place. So that's pretty much it.